Welcome to the 2018 Bellingham Gay Pride. You are standing with me here at the intersection of Holly and Cornwall. If you look carefully at the start of the parade, you will see our escort, the Bellingham inline skater. Following the skater are the two motorcycle escorts, but most important, following those escorts is our Grand Marshal, Tree. I'd like to point out that Tree is visiting from New York City. He was a bartender at the Stonewall Inn when the riots broke out that started the Gay Pride movement in 1969. Behind the Tree is Kelly Linville, our mayor of Bellingham. Behind our mayor is the Float, or Rumors Cabaret, the gay nightclub here in Bellingham that provides a lot of support for the LGBTQ community. Really wonderful people. Behind Rumors is the Home Skillet restaurant here in Bellingham. They also give us lots of support. Behind the Home Skillet is the Pride Club of Watcom Community College. And behind them is the gay employees group at T-Mobile, called Mobile for Equality. Following them is the healthcare clinic, Unity Care Northwest. I'd like to point out that some of their services are a sliding scale for those of you who do not have or have insufficient insurance. Next up is a small contingent from Semiahmoo Resort in Blaine, Washington. Great place for a getaway after the parade. Following the Semiahmoo report is the Watcom Democrats. They have always been supportive for the LGBTQ communities of Bellingham and all of Watcom County.
You don't even have to go anywhere. You just gotta check the ballot box. All you gotta do is show up. We win. You don't even have to go anywhere. You just gotta check the ballot box. All you gotta do is show up, millennials. All you gotta do is show up, sinners. We will win.
Here comes Faith Lutheran Church here in Bellingham, another welcoming congregation. Really wonderful banner they've got there. Now next up is a variety of local roller skating clubs. Two of them come to mind. It's the Roller Betties and the Subdued City Rollers. Some of these folks play games at the Watkin Pavilion at the Watkin Community College. They're very, very fun to watch and fun to support. Next after all these roller skaters is the Watcom Rugby team. Rugby is an alternative to American football. Following them is the Community Food Co-op, which by the way is where I eat out at about 90% of the time. I think very highly of them, very healthy and very friendly. Following the co-op is Meyer. They have two locations in Lakeway and Bakerview. Don't need to say much more about them, except they provided a wonderful shopping cart drill team, tossing out all kinds of goodies. Unfortunately, I was too busy with the camera, so I could not catch any of their fine candy. Behind these fine folks is the United Methodist Church and United Church of Christ, two organizations that are welcoming congregations. Behind them is the Whatcom County Moms, demanding action to end gun violence. Behind them is a supporter of ours, Next Home Realty, place to go to find your new home. After Fine Home Realty is the Garden Street United Methodist Church, big supporter for the community. Following the Garden Street United Methodist Church is BP Pride. BP is one of the biggest employers in the area. They operate a large refinery near Ferndale and Blaine, Washington. They've been supportive to a lot of places in our community, the gay and lesbian community, but also Bellingham Technical College. They were sponsors for the welding rodeo, so wonderful folks. We need to thank them. Following BP is the Red Wheelbarrow Riders. It's a small gathering. You can just barely see them tucked back there among all the folks from BP. They are a riding group here in town. coming up from the few stragglers from BP and the Red Wheelbarrow Writing Group is the Umbrella Drill Team from the Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship. Before I go any further, I need to apologize for the lack of a banner to identify who we are. That was a mistake that we made when we were getting ready to come down here to Pride. By the way, if I were not busy photographing this parade, I would be in that drill team. Next year, I most likely will be in that drill team for my duty of photographing and videographing this parade will be done. Even though I was not on the drill team, I am very active at the Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship, and I can say that they are very, very welcoming to the LGBTQ community. I have felt welcome and at home with them as if they were part of my family. Enjoy the Umbrella Drill Team. Appropriately following the Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship is the Northwest Indian College in that little red truck. We have a very supportive ongoing relationship with the Lummi Nation on which this college stands. We recognize that the Lummi Nation is part of the Coast Salish peoples whose ancestral land is the land on which we are marching this parade. Following them is Western Washington University. Western Washington University started as a teachers or normal college back at the turn of the century. They're now about 10,000 students strong with a very supportive LGBTQ student organization. Following them is Bellingham's only burlesque show called the Frisky Family. Now following them is a wonderful little organization in Blaine called the Free Church Unitarian in Blaine. I have gone there on a few occasions, and I can say from my heart they're a great group of people. Following them is a group called the River Twos Collective. It is a progressive outreach. Next up is St. Paul's, the Episcopal Church here in Bellingham. St. Paul's is a welcoming congregation, and they are a wonderful group of people. I have met several of them through my time here in town, and it looks like they have their own drill team. How about that? Now, following them is Barclay Massage here in Bellingham. Following them is the Bellingham Peace Vigil. This is an extremely important group with a long history. Bellingham is home to the longest running weekly peace vigil in the United States. It was started by Howard and Rosemary Harris more than 50 years ago. It has seen more than 4 generations and is held on the corner of Magnolia Street and Cornwall in front of the Federal Building every Friday starting at 4 p.m. Next up is Lifelong. These folks are based in Seattle. However, they provide a variety of support for AIDS patients and HIV testing throughout the entire region. Following them is a Queer Youth Project, extremely important for youth who are LGBTQ and questioning. We give all credit and support to them. Following the Queer Youth Project is a group called Homes Now, working to end homelessness in our community. Next up is the Bellingham Starbucks Pride Alliance. Next up is P-Flag Watkins. Parents and friends of lesbians and gays. P-Flag promotes the health and well-being of GLBTQ persons, their families, and friends. A non-profit, tax-exempt corporation not affiliated with any ethnic, religious, economic, or political group, a volunteer, local community-based group, which, by the way, started Bellingham Pride in the year 2000. Next up is Camille. It is a mobile restaurant. Enjoy. Hopefully they'll stop somewhere we can get a bite to eat. Following Camille's is the Sean Humphrey House. This started as an AIDS hospice house here in Bellingham many years ago. They still operate a hospice now. After them is Compass Health, which is a health clinic. Following Compass Health is Congregation Beth Israel. It is our Jewish congregation here in Bellingham. Now, following Congregation Beth Israel is Jazzercise. Great way to do exercise using dance music. Look at them. They are going to be the thinnest, most fit, most healthy people around. Following Jazzercise is the Bellingham Tenants Union, a great place to go if you're having problems with your landlord, your rent, or trying to find an apartment to live, or dealing with landlords. Following them is Planned Parenthood of Bellingham and Washington County. Next up is the First Congregational Church. It is a welcoming congregation who is working on a project called the Ground Floor. That project will provide a day center for homeless youth, a place that youth can go for clean clothes, a shower, support, and a friendly person to talk to when you need help. Following those wonderful folks is a place called the Chameleon Ink Tattoo, great place to get piercings and tattoos. Following them is a group called the Gothic Priest. Now, if you want to read about Gothic priests, tattoos, piercings, and all sorts of other subjects, weird and normal, here's the Bellingham Public Library. Following the public library is the Raging Granny. Do me a favor, please don't get in their way. They're going to make a lot of loud noises. Their noises, by the way, would be competing with none other than the Bellingham Fire Department. Now, every parade has to have a queen, and the queen needs to be hugged and kissed as she makes her way throughout the parade. Next up, for your pet, is the Radiant Heart Aftercare for pets. Need I say anymore? Following them is none other than the Rainbow City Band. The Rainbow City Band was very generous to make the long trip from Seattle here to Bellingham to provide us the grand finale for the Bellingham Pride Parade. Following the band is you and I and everyone else wishes to join the parade and to be proud of themselves. And as we march towards the bay and the mountains, I wish you all a wonderful day, a wonderful year, and happy Pride.